Let me take you back to 1989, December 1989. I was about 10 years old and I was on what I was considering my first date. And where did we go? Well, we went to the movie theater and we had our parents drop us off there because, yeah, in 1989, you could totally do that and it was safe and normal. And what did we go see? Well, you might have guessed it. We went and saw National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on the big screen. Now picture this, two awkward kids trying to feel like adults, and an older couple comes in and sits down directly in front of us in a completely empty theater and begin to narrate everything in the entire movie out loud the whole time, like the world's loudest bonus commentary soundtrack. Every joke, every scene, a play-by-play. But you know what? From that moment on, Christmas Vacation didn't just become one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, it became one of my favorite movies of all time, period. And while my story is very memorable to me, it is nothing compared to the wild, crazy, and downright unbelievable facts behind the making of this movie. So today, we're unwrapping 10 amazing and wild facts about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation that you will never, ever forget. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so let's dive right into 10 fun-filled film facts about this movie. I love this movie so much, and the first fact here is this movie was based on a National Lampoon's magazine story. Most fans think of the Griswolds as starting in 1983 with National Lampoon's Vacation, but the roots go a little bit deeper than that because the movie is actually based on a John Hughes 1980 story about Christmas 59. It was published in the National Lampoon's magazine, and the film is even referenced in Christmas Vacation when Clark watches old home movies in the attic. The reel itself says Christmas like 1959, although I think it actually might say 1955. But it really started out as an edgy, absurdist magazine writing and then evolved into one of the most beloved Christmas movies ever made. Fact number 2, Chris Columbus quit the movie after 2 very awkward meetings with Chevy Chase. Now, I'm a big Chevy Chase guy. I am literally named after Chevy Chase. But before Chris Columbus did Home Alone and Harry Potter, Miss Doubtfire, all of those classics that he's been involved with, he was originally supposed to direct Christmas Vacation, but after 2 very awkward meetings with Chevy Chase, who really didn't think too much of Chris Columbus at the time, he was kind of off the movie. One of those meetings, it was actually reported that it ended with Chevy Chase saying, "Oh, I thought you were a drummer." And so Chris Columbus bailed immediately, felt disrespected. But then he eventually got offered Home Alone instead, which came from another John Hughes script. So accidentally, thanks to Chevy Chase, we have maybe 2 of our most beloved Christmas classics in both Christmas Vacation and Home Alone. Fact number 3 is actually tied to fact number 2, and that is a fresh first-time director took over in Chris Columbus's place. So after he left, Warner Brothers hired Jeremiah Chechik, and he had never directed a comedy feature before. And he went from this avant-garde director who Stanley Kubrick praised and believed that he was going to be a great director to Chevy Chase stapling his sleeve to the gutter. Like, this was a very different kind of thing. So talk about being thrown into the deep end of the holiday pool. Chechik had not even seen the 2 original Vacation films when he took this job, so it was a very different approach for him. Fact number 3, the famous sled scene took place in very harsh, blizzard-like conditions. So that scene where Clark greases up the sled with a non-nutritive cereal varnish and blasts through the woods all the way through the Walmart parking lot, that was filmed in Breckenridge, Colorado during a real snowstorm. The cast had to be hauled up to the top of the mountain, and they had to have tents with heaters. It was freezing. The snow was so deep. The conditions were brutal. They even had to have oxygen masks because they were over 12,000 feet elevated and the air was so cold. And a little bonus fact here, Cousin Eddie's bingo right at the end at the bottom was completely improvised. Fact number 5, the Griswold's house and the neighbors' houses in the movie were from other movies. The Griswolds didn't actually live in Illinois, and none of the snow that you see in that neighborhood in the film is real. That is because it was on the Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank, and here's the kicker. The neighbor's house has the same exterior used in the Lethal Weapon movies as Murtaugh's house. So you've got two iconic 80s films, and I would argue that Lethal Weapon could also be a Christmas film. And it's one legendary suburban street complete with fake snow, all kinds of shavings, styrofoams, even marble shavings to give you all of that snow out there. But these houses were setting in warm, comfortable Burbank. Fact number 6 is this is the only movie that doesn't feature the song Holiday Road. So all the other films feature the song It's a Long Way Down Holiday Road. You know the song. I'm going to stick it in your head like the earworm it is. But every other movie features that. This one does not. It is the one lone exception, and instead it uses Christmas Vacation, which is an earworm in its own right. I sing it a lot. It is performed by Mavis Staples, so it kind of gives the entry its own identity and a more traditional Christmas vibe instead of a road trip anthem. And it is a fun twist on the vacation songs, and it has become a Christmas staple in its own right. Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation. Fact number 7 is for all of you horror fans out there just like me. The chainsaw scene in the famous tree cutting scene is an homage to some horror classics on purpose. Clark finally snaps. He fires up the chainsaw to fix the wobbly newel post in there. And it's not random chaos. It's a tribute as he comes outside to cut the end off the tree he had to dig out of the ground. Chevy Chase purposely modeled the way he walked and the way he carried himself when the garage door first opens after Friday the 13th. Jason Lives, specifically the way Jason is holding like the weather vane, the iron thing. That is supposed to be him when it first opens. He has the hockey mask and everything. And then Chevy Chase said that he modeled the way he raises the chainsaw up over his head after Gunnar Hansen and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So it's basically a mini slasher film homage hidden right inside the Christmas movie that we all love. And we have Chevy Chase to thank for that. Fact number 8, the first berserk squirrel, the one that gets loose, actually died during filming. The original squirrel that was hired and trained for the iconic tree attack actually died of a heart attack while filming, so production had to scramble, and they used an untrained squirrel and a stuffed double. So there are real screams involved in here and cast members reacting to the chaos because they didn't know what the new untrained squirrel was going to do, and it kind of ran amok. So that's the reason the scene feels genuinely chaotic, because it really was. Fact number 9, Chevy Chase needed some cue cards for his famous meltdown. Now, a lot of this meltdown was ad-libbed, but he had certain things he had to say, and as he was going off and really getting into the meltdown, the legendary rant that ends with "Hallelujah, where's the Tylenol?" It was so long, so manic that Chevy Chase struggled to memorize it. He struggled to remember his ad libs from take to take. So the solution was they had the crew members who are facing him, and we shoot them from behind in the film. They actually wore cue cards around their necks with like little bullet points and lines so that he could remember them, keep his place in where he's going in the rant. They're around their chest so that he can see them, and it allowed them all to stay in character and gave Chevy Chase some signpost in his crazy rant that is comedic rage legend. I mean, this is one of my favorite parts of the movie, and a little bit of fun trivia behind it. And fact number 10 is something you maybe obviously know. The legacy of this movie is massive, and it has stood a long time. You've got ornaments, cameos, memes. This movie appears in a lot of other movies, including Rocky V. There's a big scene where they're in Rocky's house and they're watching this on TV. Hallmark releases ornaments every year, and they have for decades now, commemorating different scenes in the film. Here is the famous horror scene right here. And fans these days light up their entire house. They decorate it the same way. They do full-blown displays for Christmas Vacation. You can't go anywhere around Christmas time in America without finding Christmas Vacation merch, cups, blankets, whatever, and you're going to get clips that go viral every December, videos like this. The movie is a quirky, crazy sequel. It is one of not only my favorite Christmas movies of all time, but one of my favorite films of all time, period. And it has its own holiday mythology at this point. I absolutely love National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So there you have it, 10 wild, crazy facts about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's way more chaotic, tragic, and legendary than your average Christmas holiday comedy. If you like videos like this, it's a little bit different on the channel, but we're right here at the Christmas holiday season kickoff in full swing, under a week away from Thanksgiving as I record this, and I absolutely love doing these kind of videos. So give you a little bit more insight, just some fun light videos to help make your season a little bit brighter. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more. All of that really helps out the channel. If you'd like to support what we're doing here a little bit more, we've got a big Christmas and holiday season coming up. You can join my Patreon. The link is below. You'll get your name and lights on every single video, behind the scenes looks at my filmmaking, special members only videos, and so much more. And I really do appreciate it. And we are just getting started. So hang around, and until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.